This was undoubtedly the most heavily armed bomber of the United States during World War II. Armed with over 14 50 caliber machine guns and a 75mm M4 anti-tank cannon, this was no ordinary bomber. This was a flying tank and a bomber, armed from all four sides. It was not easy to attack this aircraft. It destroyed so many transport ships of the Japanese that its crew and pilots started to call it as the Communist Destroyer. It was the best plane for the skip bombing, where it would drop a bomb onto the hull of a ship, and its speed made it possible. The main goal of the bomber was to bomb Japanese airfield in the Pacific. With around a dozen MGs and a strong tank cannon, when flying above an enemy airfield, the aircraft may deliver significant damage in a single run, destroying Japanese airplanes on the ground. This is the story of B-25 Mitchell gunship bomber, one of the most extraordinary aircraft of US during World War II. After Pearl Harbor. Following the Japanese assault on the Pearl Harbor, President Franklin D. Roosevelt met with the Joint Chief of Staff to consider the American military response. He voiced worry about the American morale and proposed striking mainland Japan to promote morale, stimulate voluntary enlistments, and build war bonds. The outcome was the Doolittle Raid, conducted by aviator and engineer James H. Doolittle. Doolittle thought that an attack on the Japanese heartland would produce uncertainty and doubt about the loyalty of their leaders, and the Americans needed a morale boost. The B-25 Mitchell bombing operation on April 18, 1942 was a success, resulting in over 60 deaths and 500 wounded. The operation displayed the capacity of American aircraft to take the fight to the enemy's heart regardless of location. Because it was armed with a powerful 75mm M4 tank gun, a dozen high-caliber machine guns, rockets, and a 3,000-pound bomb load capacity, the B-25's excellent performance eclipsed the B-25's next combat role. The mission and the B-25's outstanding performance boosted US morale and made the Japanese fighting spirit realize that their nation was not as unbreakable as they thought. A flying tank. In the rapidly changing aviation technology of that era, sky was the limit when it comes to experiment with the configuration of the aircrafts. Prior to World War II, the Luftwaffe and the US Air Corps sought to mount 75mm tank guns on aircraft to support combat troops. The German HS-129B3 and the Junkers Ju-88P1 were outfitted with long-barreled anti-tank weapons in order to counter Soviet T-34 tanks. The B-25G Mitchell gunship was used by the US Air Corps to destroy Japanese ships. After multiple armament upgrades, the gunship became the most powerful Pacific combat bomber. By the end of the war, the B-25 gunship was the most heavily armed airplane in the United States, with a defensive weaponry ranging from 14 50 caliber machine guns to a 70mm M4 cannon in the nose. Better bomber and even better aircraft. During the Spanish Civil War, officers in the United States Air Force realized that low-altitude bombing was no longer effective owing to expanding anti-aircraft weaponry. They opted to employ high-altitude bombs for strategic strikes because planes needed to fly higher to avoid being targeted by the anti-aircraft weapons and carry heavier bomb loads. According to Air Corps research, the greatest choice for the maritime warfare was to target enemy ships with a large bomber payload. The 2,000-pound bomb had the greatest potential for destruction against the battleships of any known weapon. These studies, as well as the combat progress in the Pacific theater, updated the eventual American B-25 Mitchell gunship. The Air Corps released a request for a medium bomber capable of delivering a payload of 2,400 pounds over 1,200 miles and at 300 miles per hour in March 1939. The NA-40 was built on the foundation of North American aviation's previous unsuccessful design, the XB-21. However, the prototype crashed and was destroyed during testing. A prototype, the NA-62, was planned to carry a 3,000-pound bomb load and seat a pilot and co-pilot side by side. Because of the higher bomb load capacity and weight, the Army ordered 184 NA-62s and produced them as the B-25 Mitchell. During manufacturing, North American aviation made changes such as flattening the outer wing panels to address stability difficulties. developing the gold wing layout and increasing tail fin size. The B-25 was additionally outfitted with the machine guns of .30 caliber, armor, and self-sealing fuel tanks. Jim Hurley, a veteran pilot, praised the B-25 as rock stable and easy on takeoff, having one of the most stable configurations. The single-engine control speed, however, is critical, with a speed of roughly 145 miles per hour. Lift the airplane off the ground, gear it up, level it, and accelerate it to 145 miles per hour. The ascent takes about 20 to 30 seconds since it accelerates quickly. Operational role. The B-25P model, utilized in the 1942 Doolittle Raid over Tokyo, had a .30 caliber machine gun, 2 turrets with twin .50 caliber cannons, and a bomb load capacity of 3,000 pounds. The Raid, on the other hand, resulted in changes for long-range missions and low-level fighting. Due to fuel shortages, some aircraft crashed or became trapped in China and Russia. The B-25C had 6 cannons, one of which was totally controlled by the pilot, and larger fuel tanks and .50 caliber weapons. This was the start of the strafing campaign for the B-25 in the Pacific theater. Engineers added bomb racks beneath each wing to increase firepower, allowing the bomb bay to carry a 2,000-pound torpedo capable of destroying enemy ships. The B-25C model had been shipped to the UK, Russia, China, and Canada. The B-25C was used by the British Royal Air Force and the Canadian Air Force to attack supply lines and oil depot in East Flanders, as well as other secondary targets. The Dutch got the same type and fought with the Dutch in East Indies wars against Japanese forces. From the early days of Stalingrad through the end of the war, the USSR utilized a variety of variations. The B-25C was displayed as a swift and a ruthless strafing bomber in the Pacific theater, while it was deployed as a strategic bomber in the European theater. The Commerce Annihilator. The B-25 was originally built as a medium bomber, but it excelled as a low-level assault bomber and straffer in the Pacific in October 1942. To suit US ground assault objectives, North American Aviation built the B-25G, the first American gunship. The company made history when it installed the biggest forward-firing weapon ever installed in a US bomber, a 75mm M4 cannon with a 18-pound projectile. In 1943, the ultimate punching bag airplane, the B-25H and the B-25J, entered production with up to 14 50mm machine guns. These unconquerable machines could not be flanked from any directions, and pilots began referring it as the Commerce Destroyer. The manufacturers were eager to improve the plane, but during World War II, General George Kenney of the Army Air Force and the Captain Paul Irwin Pepe gun had a considerable effect on it. Kenney emphasized effective combat leadership, bold vision and command of air strategy and tactics, and the ability to extract the best shooting capabilities from both personnel and equipment. They emphasized customizing the B-25 with up to 15 MGs and pioneered skip bombing, which was critical in the Pacific. Stephen Wilkinson outlines the function of skip bombing, in which the B-25 uses a heavy tank gun to blast the hulls of the Japanese ships. Because of the aircraft's speed and efficiency in this function, it was extremely successful. Because of the B-25's success in destroying Japanese planes on the ground, Allied troops tried the same thing in Europe. After World War II, the B-25 served in over 15 nations' air forces, including the US Navy, Marines, and future USAF, testing with many variants. However, the B-25 Mitchell gunship became the fundamental rock for the future Lockheed AC-130 gunship. B-29 was one of the most influential planes of World War II as it dropped the nuclear bomb, and it was the most sophisticated bomber of its time. To watch the video on one of its most fatal flaws, click this link. Thank you for watching. See you guys in the next video.